What's going on, everybody? Matt Malatesta here in the Coach's Corner. We just talked to people that win gold medals. And this is Isaiah Coleman III, dominant as it relates to Episcopal High School, the track team, boys and girls sweep, SPC. Coach, congrats. Just talk about the weekend. What a weekend it was.
It was an awesome weekend. I mean, this is what, we, go through the months of training for, is to be able to, be at our best at the conference meet, which I would say that most would agree. I think we set 3 conference records, and about 7 or 8 Episcopal school records. So, I mean, our kids performed. We're up to the task at hand.
That was a super special class of seniors that are, going on to bigger and better things than at the college ranks. But just talk about, as a coach in track, people underestimate how hard it is to juggle events and points and keeping people healthy and getting the right guys and girls on the relays. I mean, there's a lot of balls in the air. How do you manage it?
Thankfully, we have the depth to be able to do that, because right, we have managed several injuries this spring, and some to our seniors and key underclassmen as well. We have about 90 boys and girls total in our program, and I think our depth has allowed us to be consistent throughout the year. And thankfully, everybody became healthy at the right time as well. So that way we could, when we had somebody running the 4x1, they could now, somebody else that wasn't on the team, but they could still help us in the 1 and the 2 and things of that nature. So the depth really helped us. I was actually talking to another coach in SBC yesterday, and he was like, yeah, you had 7 or 8 boys or girls, so it didn't matter who was healthy. You still had enough to be able to win. So the depth has definitely helped us this year.
Talk about the culture of Episcopal. I mean, you all win everything. I mean, virtually everything in that SBC, but where does it come from? What are y'all relaying to the kids? It's a tremendous school, but what would you say the athletic culture there is?
It's the relationships between the coaches, the athletes, and the parents. And I say that a lot of our programming, when it comes to varsity sports, all the head coaches are connected to the school, not just as a head coach, but they are an integral part of the faculty or staff here as well. So the kids get a chance to see the head coach in wearing different hats, if you will. Sometimes see him in the classroom. Myself, I teach in the science department, plus I'm also the grade level dean for the freshmen. So they see me wearing different hats throughout the day. And then, of course, I put on a different hat when we go out to the oval. But I think, to me, it's the relationships that we are able to build with the kids, the staffs that we have across, the athletic department, and, the relationship we also build with the parents. The parents, are also bought in just as much as the kids are. And that support that a lot of people don't always see behind the scenes, we get a lot of that. So I think, to me, it's the relationships is the secret sauce for our success.
I love y'all's kids, man. They are super mature and really well polished. One in particular, Carson Gordon, is awesome. He's one of my favorite kids in the city of Houston. Just talk about the impact he's had on your program.
I mean, a lot of eyes turned towards our program. And, last year when he came in as a junior from Ridge Point, a lot of folks were like, hey, do you know who's, coming to your school? I said, well, yes, I do know this young man very well. Didn't know him personally. His dad went to Rice a little bit before I went to Rice. So I knew of him. I knew what he was as far as, what he can do regarding track and field. I knew he came from a great family. But as I would tell people, I said, football is his actually number one sport. I mean, but of course, obviously he is the number one triple jumper currently now in the country, going on 2 years undefeated. And of course, as you know, in Texas relays this year, he set the national high school record in the triple. So no one in high school has done it better than he has. But he's a leader, been extremely impactful, and a young man that, even when it comes to track and field, of course, obviously he has, numerous awards for track, for football, but a young man that will work with probably the most inexperienced kid with track and field as well. Extremely coachable, listens, yes, sir, no, sir. He doesn't, the moment is never too big for him, but he doesn't get the big head either. He's, again, like I said, I attribute that to, his awesome mom and dad, his parents, his family. They're always supportive of the program, of EHS. So, I mean, it was obviously a win-win for us. And then, of course, with the Gatorade National Player of the Year for the state of Texas, I mean, definitely going to miss him. He is definitely one of a kind.
Talk about other guys on your boys team that were really standouts this season.
So earlier you mentioned about injuries. I mean, we have a young man that's a freshman, Dylan Smith, who stepped in a key role. He replaced on our 4x1. He replaced a key senior that we graduated last year in Lane Linebarger. We of course returning Carson Gordon, and Garen Sampson has definitely stepped up and PR'd when it came to the 100 and the 200. I mean, gosh, on the distance side, Sam Marino, I know he's a senior, Evan Ringwald. I mean, their leadership, but they're in domination when it comes to the 4x8, the 8, the mile, the 32, and again, the attributes to our depth. But one person that we were, I'm going to be honest. For me, I was definitely concerned. Devontae Taylor II, or as we call him, DJ. At our home meet earlier this year, he suffered an avulsion fracture in his hip, where essentially the muscle pulled a piece of the bone off of the hip. And, I've seen it a couple times in the past with athletes that we've had here at Episcopal. Didn't know exactly how much he would be able to help us as it pertained to, of course, our conference or state meet. But of course, the goal is to make sure that he was healthy. And through the work of the doctors, the trainers, the coaches, we were able to get him back healthy, and he ended up scoring almost 50 points for us at the conference meet across long jump, triple jump, 4x1, both hurdles, and the 4x4. I mean, he, Mr. can do it all. Some people would say he's I guess, a switchblade or Swiss Army knife. And my new nickname for him is the Wolverine, because for him to heal as fast as he did from that injury and to come back not just to participate, he came back and won. And I mean, the numbers he put up are not just numbers that are solid in private school. His numbers are solid, public, private, big school, small school, does not matter. He can compete at any level.
Let's switch to the girls. They cannot be overshadowed because they did a tremendous job. Also, just talk about what you saw out of that girls team coming together.
So the girls, a very, very young team. We did have one blow from injury, Maddie Morgan, who suffered a stress reaction, and it never quite, became comfortable enough for her to compete. Could she have competed at SPC? Yes, but the long-term vision is, hey, make sure that you're 100% healthy, because we don't want to make a bad situation worse in regard to her running abilities, because she has to turn around and get ready for cross country in the fall. But we had a lot of sophomore and freshman young ladies step up again across the board: distance, sprints, field events. Senior leadership on that side. I think about Blake Olivier Hodgson, who, is a big time soccer athlete. She's actually going to TCU next year on a soccer scholarship, but she helped us out in a major way, scoring for us in the 100-meter dash, 200-meter dash, and the 4x4. I also look at Townsend Thomas. Townsend is going to Florida on a softball scholarship. And she actually committed full time to track with us this spring. And I mean, she set out there and again was part of our girls 4x1 that set our EHS school record. She also broke her own school record in the 100-meter hurdles. And to come back from the injury that she had as a sophomore to her knee speaks volumes to her work ethic and wanting to get back to where she was, which she has not only gotten there, but she's gotten better than what she was her sophomore year. So I know she could not be more pleased with herself. I know our staff, her parents are elated. And then, you know, kind of coming back to a young lady by the name of Mary Taylor, who I know on the guys' side, I mentioned Devontae Taylor II or DJ. Well, he's a junior. His sister, Mary Taylor, is a sophomore. She almost scored 50 points by herself, or I guess you could say attributed 50 points to the girls' team total, again, participating in 6 events across both days, long, triple, high jump, and then coming back 4x1 and both hurdles. So again, as I start throwing out so many different names, you can see the depth is what really has allowed us to be successful, but also to allow our athletes to spread out and not have to do so much work in order for us to be successful.
And what's great to see is that you got several coming back. So that's going to be dangerous for the SPC in 2025, unfortunately for them. Well, Coach, congrats on the success, and you know what Episcopal has done representing Houston in the SPC is just outrageously impressive. I'm going to be sad to see Carson Gordon go, but I know you're going to backfill him with somebody else. But hey, congrats, Coach, again on filling up the trophy case for another year. This is Matt with VYPE. We'll see y'all at the games.
All right. Thank you so much.